Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for another review. So today I'm going to be doing a review of a complete series, and I decided to do this because I read most of the books in this series before I started the channel, and I thought it would be too much work to do a review for each book. And while I really like this series, I didn't love it. So yeah, I feel like it would just be too much work, and I'd rather put them all together. And I think I have more to say with all the books together. So the series I'm going to be reviewing today is, I put them this way, the Split Word series by Emma Newman. This has 5 books. The first one being Between Two Thorns, and it's um, it's a low fantasy with a little bit of portal fantasy. So we have modern England on one side, and then we have another world that has magic and fairies that live in it. And actually, we have 3 worlds. So we have ours, and that is called Mundanus, whatever you want to call it. And then we have the world where the fairies live, which is Exilium. And then we have the Nether, which is basically in between these two. So the fairies live in Exilium, and obviously they cannot leave because they are exiled in this world. They cannot leave, but one thing I really liked about this series is that fairies are not nice. They're pretty evil, and they like to play with humans. They like to do bad things to humans. But obviously they cannot access the human world because they're exiled. So they have to use this world in between, where you have these puppets, or I forgot what they're called, but they're still humans who have been touched by the fairies. So basically they know about the fairies, and they can use a little bit of magic, but most importantly they don't get old. They're just young forever, they live forever, but they're still humans. And basically these puppets are used by the fairies to do bad stuff in the human world. And it's really complicated. And one thing I really didn't like about these books is that there was never some kind of list with all the characters, but mostly with the families, because each fairy has their own family of puppets that they control. And they also have like a, I forgot the name for it, but it's like a messenger who has a lot of power and is the one giving orders to the rest of the families. And of course, just like fairies have different alliances, also the families have different alliances. And it was just a bit hard to follow. But after book 3, it's not too important anymore. Anyway, so we have 4 main characters that we follow throughout 5 books, and then each book also has a 5th POV that changes every time. So we get to see a different side character that is important in that book. And our 4 characters, we have Will, Katie, Sam, and Max. So I'm going to start with Sam, who is the only human who lives in the human world. And at the beginning of book 1, he is witness to a crime committed by fairies. And because he saw them, they took his memories away. But for some reason that I will explain later, he will be forced into the investigation. And so he will find out about the fairies, about the Nether, about all that's happening in this world. And it will get him more and more involved. So Sam was not my favorite character. Um, I I was quite bored with his chapters. I felt like the first couple of books he was just there to be the human, like to be relatable, because while you have really magical and supernatural stuff going on with the other characters, he has very Sam has very simple problems that we can all relate to, about marriage, work, and all that stuff, money, all that stuff. So I thought he was there for that reason. But then he becomes quite important. But yeah, he was never my favorite character. So next one we have Max that I'm going to talk about. Max is like a policeman. He's an arbiter, and he's a human, but he has to make sure the fairies don't cause too much trouble in the human world. And he's the one investigating the crime Sam witnessed. So he's the one kind of pulling him into the investigation. And one curious thing about Max is that he doesn't have a soul, he's um, because fairies and their puppets, they can use magic on the humans unless you don't have a soul. Only if you don't have a soul, you are you are safe. So all these arbiters, their soul is always taken from them. And he has a gargoyle as like animal companion, which is really cool. I liked Max. I thought it was a really cool character. I was really interested in his storyline, and especially, I think his ending was my favorite one. But I felt like he was sometimes wasted, so we never got to see him very often. It was more about the other characters, and usually he was the one just solving everything. But I wanted to see more of him. I wanted to see more of his past, of his lifestyle, and that kind of stuff. But still, a pretty interesting character. So the next two, Kathy and Will, they are both puppets, so they live in the Nether. And while Will is happy with his life and he wants to make his fairy happy, his family and his fairy happy, Kathy hates her life there. She wants to run away, she wants to live in the human world, because basically the Nether is stuck in the past. So they have a very old mentality when it comes to women. Women are just objects. First, their father is the one deciding everything for them, and then once they get married, which by the way is decided by their father, their husband is their new master. So they can't have a job, they can't have a house, they can't do anything without their husband's permission. So they're basically objects. And Kathy doesn't want to be like that, because she grew up with a nanny, or I think she was a maid who taught her about feminism, about the real world, like women in the human world have more rights, and so she wants to live in the mundanos, but obviously she can't. And the first book is all about finding Kathy, bringing her back to the Nether, and getting her married with Will. And I mean, Kathy is the main character, I think, and I liked her. I really like her personality, her beliefs, like what she believes in is something that I also believe in, and it's easy to feel, to like her, to want her to win, to do whatever she wants to do, and it's really easy. Yeah, it's really easy to like her. I think she's a really good female character, and I did like her storyline until the ending. So the ending of this book of this series is, I'm not a big fan of the ending, but I feel like it's just me. It's my personal opinion. So I think I don't want people to be, to think, oh, she didn't like the ending, so it's bad. It's just my personal opinion. I don't like that kind of ending, but I think other people will be fine with it. And then we have Will. Will is a very interesting character because you can never know what he's going to do next, and you're going to hate him many times. Um, like Will is, he understands what is going on, and he actually agrees with Kathy about, changing things. He also thinks women should be more free to do what they want. They should have more rights. The problem is that he also really wants to make his fairy happy. And here is why I liked Will, because we get to see another perspective. So yes, women have a really hard time here. I wanted Kathy to win. I wanted her to succeed, change the society, change things. But Will is, with Will, we can see that men don't have it easy either. That in this, in this society is not, it's not the man who have the power, it's the fairies. The fairies have the power, and if your fairy tells you to do something, you have to do it. Like, you don't have a choice. You can't run away, you can't hide, you have to do it. And this lasted for so long that then the man just kind of got used to the mentality, and they don't even question it anymore. So I thought it was really interesting to see that kind of perspective, because even in our modern society, yes, women are always fighting for more rights, to have more freedom, and to choose to have a job, a career, and all that kind of stuff. But men don't have it easy. Like, the society, the pressure the society puts on both women and men is really, it's the same pressure. It's just to do different things. So yeah, I thought it was really, really interesting. And as I said, like, I didn't love this series. There were a few things I didn't like, but it made me think a lot about these kind of issues. So I think people should give it a try. I think more people should give it a try, because it deserves more love. So I hope you will give this series a try. And if you're worried about the romance, there is very little romance. Like, it's not even important. And so I think everybody can enjoy this series, and it can make really many different people think about this kind of issues. So that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed my review. Thank you for watching, and thank you again all the new subscribers to the channel. I will see you next time.